Omicron, Omicron, Omicron. Some people need to just slow down a little bit and take a breath. Let's focus on what we know right now, which isn't much. And let's continue to move forward as we have throughout this pandemic. We've seen new variants before. We've faced them head on. But some in the cruise community and some people that I follow very, very close are already blowing this thing up and making predictions that simply we don't have the facts to make it. Let's talk about Omicron, and let's also talk about Carnival's news that they will test at the port in December, which is good news. Let's start it right now on Island Time. A big happy Monday to all you islanders. I know a lot of you are back at work today. I am one of you, back at work, my day job, and of course, keeping up with all things cruising right here on Island Time. You have found yourself in the islands, which is where we need to be, especially with what we're about to talk about. I first have to thank all of you who joined us last night on our live show. We had a record number of people join us live. Thank you so much. I know that many of you watch the show even after we go off air live. We appreciate that. And our big announcement, how about that? We have opened our online store that has all types of Island Time merch. You can see the link below. Click on it, shop around. 15% off for the next 12 days is what they're giving us. And there's all sorts of Island Time swag, from t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, cups, glasses, hats, stickers, face mask, you name it, we've got it there. Matter of fact, we sold out of 3 items last night as we were live. Thank you so much for that. Let's get started on cruise news. There's a lot of it, and I don't like this type of news. I don't like it because some people, it could be the media, it could be YouTube bloggers, people that I know and follow and talk to outside of this realm of blogging just about cruising, they're blowing things up right now a little bit more than they need to be, simply because we don't know a lot right now that's going on. There's no reason to send people into a panic for any reason, but that is exactly what's taking place on some channels. Let's talk about Omicron right now. Here's the facts. We don't know a lot about this variant yet, okay? Initial research shows that it could be even more transmissible than the Delta variant, which is still out there. Don't forget, Delta's still out there, okay? But this one could be more transmissible. We have no clue yet if the vaccine works against the variant. And so the news that comes out and people say, oh, if you have a cruise booked in the next several months, you better watch out. No, calm down, take a breath, make your plans as we have now for almost half a year. We've been cruising for almost 6 months with COVID still active. The Delta variant has had 2 massive spikes in the last 6 months. So this isn't anything new, okay? Now, cruise lines are ready to fight the virus. They have invested millions of dollars in their technology and protocols to fight COVID. The new variant, as far as we know, is nothing new. It's just another wrinkle in what they're trying to fight, okay? We can expect some things to take place. As I'm preparing for my December cruise preview show, which we will have for you this week, one of the things that I was going to spotlight is capacity levels. December provides cruise lines with an opportunity to increase capacity levels as much as they want to. Matter of fact, one sailing on the breeze last week, a Carnival Cruise Line ship out of Galveston, Texas, that offers 4 and 5 night cruises, was at 90%. Capacity was at 90%, the highest that I had seen from Carnival Cruise Line in the industry since the restart. December was going to provide that opportunity. The week before Christmas, the week of Christmas, and New Year's week is one of the busiest times of year. And cruise lines, we're going to use that time to see, can we bump this up? What does it look like when we bump up our numbers? Well, that could be one of the things that's impacted by Omicron, okay? Cruise lines could delay capacity surges because of Omicron, and cruisers like you and I, we're okay with that. Let it happen, right? We love our 60 and 70% capacity ships. Something else that could be affected are protocols. Right now, all cruise lines have protocols extended through at least March of 2022, and that is the testing protocol, testing within 48 hours for vaccinated passengers. If you're unvaccinated, you have children, it's got to be 72 hours in a PCR test. Disney, of course, is going to require vaccinations starting in January for all passengers over the age of 5. So we could see vaccinations and that protocol stay around longer. No news yet. It's too early. We will see. We could see the testing also stay around. It's looks like it's going to be to the end of March right now. It could be extended. Wearing masks on board could be extended, but nothing is official right now. One thing that's going to be really interesting that I'm going to keep an eye on, and I know you will too, is this right here, the CDC. The CDC has said cruise lines have things under control. They really didn't want to extend the conditional sell order, but they did. It was set to expire November the 1st. They extended it until mid-January of 2022. But they said in that extension, we will not be extending a conditional sell order again. After this, these requirements, testing requirements, vaccine requirements will become recommendations, okay, which cruise lines could continue to uphold if they wanted to, but they didn't have to. I thought then that was a little bit weird, for the CDC to come out with a bold statement like that and guarantee, hey, we're not going to extend this, because of course we will see what happens now. What if this variant is more transmissible? What if the effects are greater on people? Maybe the vaccine is not as effective. Are they going to go back on their word? Who knows? That piece is going to be interesting to see. But honestly, if you have a cruise booked the rest of this year and into early 2022, keep it booked. Be excited about that cruise. Book your flights and your hotels. Look at your excursions. Be excited to go no matter what others are currently saying, because there's no ground to stand on right now, okay? That ground may be solidified in the weeks ahead. Who knows? We don't know. But right now, there's no ground to stand on. One thing that I would encourage you to do, even if you haven't done it in the past, is consider travel insurance, okay? And I'm usually a proponent of the third market, the outside market, purchasing your insurance through a third party. But during these times, I recommend that you purchase your travel insurance through the cruise line. If something happens before your cruise and it needs to be canceled, they will take care of you. If something happens on board, they've got the coverage that you need, okay, and the dollar amounts that you need. So look at travel insurance if you haven't before. But we will keep an eye on this, and we'll see what happens with this variant as we start to learn more. One thing I do want to share as well is that Carnival announced this morning, John Hill, of course, went live, and he announced that Carnival is set to extend testing capabilities for vaccinated passengers in the month of December. We expected this to happen. It sounded like it was wildly successful in November, but a couple of reminders. Testing for vaccinated passengers at the local ports, the terminals. That should not be your main way or your go-to to get tested, okay? It should be a last resort for several reasons. But do not bank on this and just book your test through this means. If you don't have testing in your area, maybe you have a work or family situation which prevents you from being tested at home, then use this. But don't do this for your primary means. And that is because, number one, you could test positive and get to the port, test positive, and you could have found that out at home. Number two, it's more expensive to be tested. It's $100 and it could be free at home. Number three, it takes time on your embarkation day. Okay, it's on embarkation day. It's when you show up at your scheduled time, and that wastes time. Okay, with your check-in process, it takes time, which takes part of your embarkation day. And if you can be tested at home or before you get to the port, then you can skip all that. Okay, a few things to note here. These tests are for vaccinated guests only. You do have to make an appointment. Okay, you have to make an appointment. The links are available. If you need those, let me know. But appointments must be made online. There's no walk-in appointments the day of. Please use the home port testing centers only if you've exhausted everything else, and that is your last resort. And also, if you make an appointment and you do not show up, which it seems like it happened quite a bit in November, according to John Hill, they made their appointment, they didn't show up, maybe they got tested at home, but they wanted to save their spot just in case. You will be charged that $100 that will go to your sign and sell account. So it's a nice, convenient thing for Carnival to do, but it should not be used by more people than it needs to be used. Okay. Whew. Lots of news today and so much to look forward to. I wanted to just tell you today, though, to take a breath, slow down. Don't listen to all these things around you yet. Okay. Be excited for your cruise. We certainly are excited for ours. We're leaving December the 18th on the Carnival Vista. We can't wait to cruise and to share that cruise with you. We hope you have a great week, and November's almost over. December starts this week. It's going to be a great rest of the year. Thank you so much, Islanders, for your support. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Island Time.